course, today we begin our readings for February. I think I've mentioned it before. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. The Science of Mind magazine every month has got a theme. Excuse me. I have no idea why I'm coughing. Something in my throat. Excuse me. Anyway, this month's theme is radical interconnection. And every month they have an introduction, and this is what the introduction says. I don't know why I've never read the intros before, but I haven't. It's called Radical Interconnection. The divine in me honors the divine in you. Namaste, of course. Becoming a powerful force for good. Oh. When we join with other people who are making healthy, beneficial changes in their community, we amplify our power to be a force for good in this world. Better together, if you like. As noted by our founder, Ernest Holmes, quote, others will arise who will know more than we do. They won't be better or worse. They will be different, and they will know more than we do. Evolution is forward. And that's, as it says, is a quote from Ernest Holmes. And it goes on to say, imagine our collective potential to heal and transform a wounded world. It is possible. All goes with a major theme, which is a world that works for everyone. And this month's readings, daily guides. And the title for the daily guides is Small Shifts in Your Thinking and Small Changes in Your Energy Can Lead to Massive Alterations of Your End Result. In other words, little by little. That was Kevin Michel. This month's readings are Eugene Holden, religious science practitioner. And he'd been a practitioner, I think he must be a practitioner emeritus because he's been a practitioner for a long time. When I was even before ministerial training, when I was in practitioner training, he ran the World Ministry of Prayer, and he came and recruited us, and I was a member for a while. And the World Ministry of Prayer would get all these requests in by email, and then they would farm these requests out by email to volunteer practitioners, and I was one for a while. And then we would write a treatment for people, a prayer, and then send it back to them. So it was kind of neat. And he was the one who was actually recruiting for more people to do this. But here is what he says eventually. Oh, no. This is about Eugene, other than what I've told you. He's been a student of the science of mind for more than 30 years. For a decade, oh, here we go. He served the World Ministry of Prayer at Centers for Spiritual Living until 2017. Well, actually, I think it was before he became Centers for Spiritual Living anyway. And he managed the department for 6 years. He allows vision to guide him. It is prayer that fuels him. He's deeply committed to this teaching, and his purpose is to joyfully inspire people to remember who and what they truly are. He is a spiritual life coach, a speaker, and an author. And this is what he says about the daily guides for this month. It has always been a blessing for me to write the daily guides for this wonderful magazine, and he's done it a lot. This year is no different. The theme, Radical Interconnection, allowed me to tap into the divine all around me. It showed me that the all good of God is everywhere present. As I sat with this theme, and as the days went by, I realized at a deeper level that the good of God must be within all of us. Together, we can reveal the beloved community. That was the intro. And here is the reading. All right, here we go. First quote is from Greg Braden, he's quite well known, I would think. He wrote things like The Divine Matrix, from which this is quoted, and a bunch of other stuff. So he's kind of on that scientific spiritual mix, if you like. Greg Braden, Gregg Braden. Look him up. He's worth looking up. He made one really good video, which is out there. I think it's on either YouTube or Netflix somewhere. He says, everything in our world is connected to everything else. Everything in our world is connected to everything else. Honestly, I will go beyond that, and I would say everything in the universe is connected to everything else. Everything in the universe is connected to everything else. But you get the message. And Ernest Holmes, in The Essential Ernest Holmes, it's a compilation of his works. Our highest satisfaction comes from a sense of conscious union with this invisible life. Our highest satisfaction comes from a sense of conscious union with this invisible life. Contemplation, meditation, quiet time, in other words. And this is Eugene Holden being perfectly honest. He says, truthfully speaking, I don't know what's meant by this month's theme, radical interconnection. From where I stand, everything is connected naturally. That's just the way it is. There isn't anything we're not connected to. The air we breathe oxygenates our blood, which nourishes our organs, which assists us in keeping healthy. This same breath has a symbiotic relationship with the plants and the trees, which are fed by the elements, some of which in turn feed us. Yes, this is a simplification of our interconnectedness with life. And this is just the start. It is one thing to talk about radical interconnection. It is something totally different to be aware of just how connected everything in our world is to everything else. This month, he says, we'll take a close look at what it means to be connected to all life and how our awareness of that interconnection or interconnectedness puts us in a position to make drastic changes in how we treat each other and how we treat the planet. It is my hope that through this month's daily guides, we become a little more aware of our interconnectedness with life and even the so-called invisible side of life, spirit, if you like, from which everything comes. So as Eugene says, and I don't know where this thing, oh, here it is. As Eugene says, everything is interconnected. And he says, I don't know what radical interconnection means. Maybe it means just being totally aware of the fact that everything is radically interconnected. And in the introduction, they were talking about when we realize this interconnectedness and we work together, we can make changes. We can make big changes. And this is going back to what's called critical mass, right? And I think most of you know what critical mass is, right? It means that when you reach a certain point, in whatever it is, it just takes off. And examples I've used in the past are, first of all, television. If you look at when televisions first came out, they were slowly increasing, very slowly. Then all of a sudden, when enough people had a television, it just took off. Exactly the same thing with cell phones or mobile phones, whatever you want to call them. They're called cell phones because they used to transmit in little cell packages, and then the whole process changed. But the word cell phone hung on in the States, but most of the rest of the world has got mobile phone or some variation of mobile phone. But the point is that if you look at the adoption of things, whether it's an idea or it's things like television, mobile phones, you'll see that it just goes along almost very, very gently upward, but not all that much until all of a sudden it reaches that point that's called critical mass. And at that critical mass, it just takes off. You can see that with stocks in the stock market. You can see it with all of life. So that what the message here is from the magazine, from the editors of the magazine, and from Eugene Holden as well, is that when enough of us get together and see good in the world and see good for everybody in the world, then it will take off and it will happen. A world that works for everyone will come about when enough of us truly believe that that's possible and it's happening. So to me, that's the message. Everything's interconnected. And yes, we can actually reach that critical mass point and have a better world for everyone. And there won't be needs for competition. Well, healthy competition, but you know what I mean. So anyway, Eugene gave us kind of 3 affirmations. I'm connected with all of life. I am connected with all of life. I cherish my connection with life. I cherish my connection with life. I am one with the all, and the A is capitalized. I am one with the all. And this idea that the spiritual is what produces the material goes all the way back to at least to Plato. Plato said that everything you see in the world, for everything you see, behind it, there is the perfect spiritual idea of it. And then you can also look at quantum collapse, which says that, everything exists in a state of probability. But when a conscious mind focuses on it, it collapses from the field into reality, as it were. Probably enough for today, right? So anyway, I've done my bit today. Helped teach a class this morning and part of this afternoon. Had a good lunch that my wife made. Yes, thank you, Barbara. Worked out, did some grocery shopping right after working out, came back here, and I'll do a little bit more work tonight. And tomorrow, help teach a class again, and then dash down to Creative Life. Why? Because we have a newly minted minister, Reverend Dana Vogt, who will be there, and we have a minister friend visiting who was in ministerial school with Reverend Lisa and myself, Reverend Eamon. He will be visiting because he's visiting family here, so there'll be a little get together. So I'm going to leave my class that I'm helping teach early and dash down to Creative Life. So what's going on tomorrow? Reverend Lisa, 9:15. Creative Life Sunday service, 11. 5 p.m. by me tomorrow. So, and remember, I've got that class coming up, the Trance of Scarcity. If you really want to change your life, it's a great class. It's a combination book study, workshop, and discussion forum and meditation, kind of all rolled into one. It was the brainchild of the late Reverend Marshall Lehman, and I helped to teach the first one that he put together. So it's a really great class. dbdewhurst@comcast.net, dbdewhurst@comcast.net for more information. Email me, and if you know my text number, text me. Either's okay. 832-271-0717, 832-271-0717. And that's it. So until next time, please take care of yourselves. Namaste.